UFC Fight Night takes place tomorrow night from Des Moines, Iowa. We're going to have Cory Sandhagen taking on Deveison Figueiredo in the main event. I am your host, Cesar Leo. And we're going to break down my predictions and bets for this card. We're going to have 12 fights on this card. 3 ladies matches to look out for. And honestly, I think we were a little spoiled last week with that event. I am not expecting a whole lot from this card, but I might be surprised. We're going to find out. Let's get into the predictions. The first ladies match on the night is Juliana Killer Miller taking on Ivana Petrovic. Need to change your name, Miller. You ain't killing nothing. My predictions have already been made this week. You know the new format I'm going with. I get my predictions out early, and then I just show you my methods and rounds on Fridays. And what is this one gonna be? We're gonna go with a decision for Ivana in the first fight. The second match on the night, Dontel Mays taking on Thomas Peterson. Lord Kong taking on the trained Thomas Peterson. Why doesn't Dontel just call himself Debo if he always comes out to his music? Does he always come out to it? I don't know, but I could have swore the last 2 times we saw Dontel, he came out thinking he was Debo. Last time I went with Peterson, he got knocked out by Shamil. He didn't stick to the game plan. I told him to take Shamil down. Tried fighting him. Got knocked the hell out. I'm hoping that's not his plan in this match, but gonna go with Peterson. Gonna say it's a decision. And he better put some grappling pressure on Dontel, or we could see a repeat. The third match, Gaston Bolanos taking on Quang Lee. This fight is actually really close on the lines, but will it be a close match? The Dream Killer taking on Quang Bang Lee. I envision these two actually getting into a slugfest. And who's going to catch who? I've already predicted Bolanos as my pick. I'm going to say he gets the knockout in round 2. When Quang Bang Lee tries to bang with the Dream Killer. Hopefully that's what happens. The next match will be Marina Rodriguez taking on Jillian Robertson. Look at that natural hair color on the Savage. I've already picked Jillian. Just want to take one last look. A lot of L's over there on Rodriguez, but look at who she lost to. I mean, she lost to the who's who in the ladies' divisions. Her only win in last year, 7 months ago, was against the Karate Hottie. Gotta go with Jillian. I'm gonna say she gets the finish. I'm gonna say it takes place in round 2. But do we go KO? Yeah, we're gonna go with KO, TKO for Jillian Robertson. We move on to Azamat Bekoyev taking on Ryan Loder. Iron taking on the Man of Steel. Interesting nickname battle going on there. Bekoyev on a winning streak. However, that is only 1 win so far against Zach Reese. And Ryan Loder, only 1 win in his UFC career over Robert Valentin. This might be closer than people think, actually. But I already chose Bekoyev. I'm going to say he gets the knockout, and I'm going to say it happens early. Round 1. We move on to our second ladies match on the night. Yana Santos taking on Miesha Tate. Foxy taking on Cupcake. And you ain't a cupcake anymore. You're more like a stale pastry that's been laying around on the shelf too long, Miesha. Last time we saw you was well over a year ago, and the last time we saw Yana Santos, it was a win versus Chelsea Chandler, which ain't saying a whole lot, let's be honest here. Really close on the lines. This is really a pick'em fight. Is Tate gonna get her another submission? She's pushing 40 years old. Well, the girl ain't looking too young either. I already picked Santos. Could regret it. I'm gonna say she gets the win by decision over the stale pastry. We move on to the main card. Jeremy Stevens taking on Mason Jones, the little heathen, taking on the Dragon, who let this guy back in the UFC.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I think Connor said it best. He gets one win in the BKFC, and then he gets a contract again. What the hell is going on here? I already picked Jones. Don't know much about him, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody really does unless you're following these other organizations, which a lot of people do. I do check other organizational fights, but I don't bet on them. I don't predict on them. I'm going to say the Dragon gets a knockout. And I'm going to say it happens in round 1. That's just the way I'm feeling. All right, here's another close match on the line. Sergey City taking on Cameron Smotherman. Last time we saw Cameron, he took out Jake Hadley in a unanimous decision, and last time we saw Sergey City, it was a split decision win over Garrett Armfield. I vaguely remember that match. I think I do remember feeling like, you know what, I really don't remember how I felt about that. City, from what I recall, seemed to have nice hands, but I think Cameron's going to have the advantage there. And even though he is the dog, I believe he is being picked overwhelmingly. Could be a mistake, but I'm going to say Cameron gets the knockout in round 2. We move on to our next match in the main card. Quick Montel Jackson taking on Daniel Marcos, and this is, like I said on this card, there's a few fights here that I'm not feeling too confident about. I do see Montel's going to have the height and reach advantage over Daniel Marcos, but I mean, you're going to have to hand Daniel Marcos his first loss in the UFC. 17-0. And Jackson's the favorite. And I picked Jackson already. And I'm going to have to say, he gets the knockout on somebody we haven't seen knocked out yet. And I'm going to say it happens in round 2. We move on to Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on D-Rod. Another match where you might want to just flip a coin. I mean, the lines are close. Both guys around the same age. Ponzinibbio with maybe slightly more MMA experience, but I don't know. I don't know about this one. I went with Santiago. It very well could go the other way, but I'm going to say Santiago catches him with something. And I'm going to say round 2 again. Seemed to be the flavor last week. We move on to the co-main event. This is the fight I think most people are most interested in on this particular card. Rainier de Ritter taking on Bo Nickel. And I have to be careful on this match. When I made my prediction, I had to second guess myself and wonder, did I make my decision because I just can't stand Bo Nickel? It's not that I can't stand him. You know what it is? I just don't like when I see the UFC overtly promoting somebody. I mean, this guy was on UFC 300 against Cody Brundage. You remember that card? Card was filled with names and bangers, and then you get to the main event and they throw Bo Nickel on there versus Cody Brundage. I mean, could you be more blatantly obvious that this is somebody that you guys want to promote? And I get it, everybody in the comment sections I get it. It's an entertainment company first and foremost. They're here to sell tickets, but do you really think this guy has the kind of personality or fighting style that is gonna make people excited to go see him? I don't think so. The reason why I chose RDR is because this is definitely going to be Bo Nickel's toughest test yet in the UFC, and we're going to find out what this guy is really about. I think RDR is going to take it to Bo Nickel. I think he's going to make this a tough match on the UFC prospect. I'm going to say he gets the submission in round 3. Make it happen, RDR. Move on to the main event. Cory the Sandman Sandhagen taking on Deveison Figueiredo. And I picked Sandhagen the moment I saw this card. Doesn't mean that Figgy can't catch him. Hey, it's a fight. Anything can happen. But I think Cory is just too slick with his hands, too slick with his footwork. We all know what he does. Question is, how does he win? Does it go all 5 rounds? I'm going to say Cory catches Figgy with a flying knee in round 3. And that's all she wrote. Let's get into the bets. Alright, let's get the official predictions on the screen. And my first bet, which is always my parlay, my predictions, my 12-pick parlay right here is matching my predictions, as you can see. And I always do that. And last week, I failed to show you my 5 $1 lottery tickets that I always do, because people know I always do them. And if you missed the recap last week, you might want to go and check and see why I play these donation bets. You might be surprised. So those are the 5 donation bets that I'm going with, and we're going to see what happens if I go back to back on this card. Wow. For the official bets, we're going to have Thomas Peterson to win by decision at plus 100 as my first bet. My second bet, I'm saying Gaston Bolanos and Quang Bang Lee ends by knockout. I'm not picking either one. I'm just saying the exact method of victory as a knockout TKO at plus 140. My third bet is going to be a long shot. Jillian Robertson to win by knockout at plus 900. Yeah, I know it's a long shot. I know most likely if Jillian gets a finish, it's going to be by sub. But you never know. She might catch her, start hitting her with the ground and pound. Let's see what happens. My fourth bet is going to be Azamat Bekoyev wins by knockout at plus 175. It could happen. And for my fifth and final bet, I'm gonna say RDR wins by submission at plus 800. Again, might be a long shot. In case you haven't figured it out, I do like those. Let's do the parlay pick of the night. For the parlay pick of the night, we're going with a 3-pick dog parlay. I'm taking all 3 of the dogs that I'm going with tomorrow night. Giannis Santos, Cameron Smotherman, and RDR to get the job done on the money line at plus 1640. And that's going to be the parlay pick of the night. We're going to see how we do. Like I already mentioned, I think we were spoiled last week with that card. Hey, you never know this card. I don't think it's going to live up to the expectations of last week. But hey, we got fights that are taking place tomorrow night from Des Moines, Iowa. Prelims start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Let me just verify that again. Yep, first fight taking place at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you for the recap on Sunday. If I repeat what I did last week, yeah, you're going to hear an ecstatic Cesar Leo. All right, I'll see you on Sunday.